All right, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 1994 Geo Prizm. Up front is a 1.6 liter inline 4 and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Geo Prizm for one reason and one reason only. And that is that my 2021 New Year's resolution was to drive and review a car from a company that no longer exists. Well, I'd like to introduce you guys to Geo. Geo was a sub-brand of Chevrolet from 1989 till 2004, but the actual nameplate of Geo actually went away in 1997. They were more economy, smaller, fun little cars, and they never really made a whole lot. There's like the Geo Tracker and the Geo Metro, things like that, but this is the Geo Prizm. So I'm excited to add another nameplate to my roster. Before we get on with the video, if you are looking to sell your car, click the link in the description below. Cashforcars.com is looking to buy your car with a clean title, salvage title, running, non-running, whatever it is. Get a quick and easy free quote with the link down in the description below. And once you agree upon the price, they will pick up your car in less than 24 hours. You don't even have to get off the couch. So let's get back to that little 4-cylinder under the hood. I'll put the horsepower up on the screen. It's not a lot. This car does not make a lot of power, and why would it? It really shouldn't. However, there was a performance, cut back to me, performance Geo Prizm with a 1.8 that made a little bit more horsepower, but this is not it. And so let's get the obvious right out of the way. Guys, this is a Toyota Corolla. So back in the early 90s, and actually into the 2000s, Chevy and Toyota worked together on a couple of cars. This is really a rebadged Toyota Corolla. If you look at the Toyota Corolla that I did from the same era, you start to see the similarities. And so the reason I bring that up right away is because the fact of, well, this is a Toyota engine, and it definitely drives like a Toyota product. For how beat up this car is, it actually drives really nice. Yes, there's a lot of rattles, beeps, and squeaks, and it's kind of hard to hear myself think, but the actual driving feel, the engine revs nice and smooth. The transmission is actually nice and smooth, and overall the actual driving experience is actually pretty good. It's like an early 90s Toyota product. Shocking, I know. But like I said, paired to a 5-speed manual, you could get the Prizm in automatic, but this is the manual. And like I said earlier, it shifts just like the Toyota Corolla. It feels great. And even after 196,000 miles, it shifts nice and smooth. And I have no complaints about it. Even the clutch engagement is really, really nice. Last but not least, of course, the Geo Prizm is front-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. There's arguably not a lot in here, but we'll talk about it anyway. So in front of me, I have 3 main gauges. On the left is my coolant temperature, in the middle is my speedometer, and on the right is my fuel. I don't get a tachometer at all, which is a little disheartening to see in a manual, but this is a cost-saving vehicle, and a tachometer would have just been too much. Steering wheel has nothing on it except for the little Geo badge and a horn. That's it. That's all you get from the steering wheel. To the left of me, I have my gauge dimmer switch and a vent, and on the door, I have my handle and my crank for the window. There are no power locks nor power mirrors here in the Geo Prizm. All of that has to be adjusted manually. Moving into the center, 2 climate control vents, and then my climate controls themselves. This does actually have AC, which is impressive, and I can switch if it's recirculating, where I want it sent, fan speed, things like that. Very, very basic, but it works. Then I have the factory Geo radio. Little tape deck up at the top, some favorite buttons, fade and balance, treble and bass. This is interesting for such an economy car to have treble and bass adjustments for 1994, but they're here, and I can't say I don't appreciate it. All right, and the cup holders do pop out of the dash, so big friggin' bottle test. Yeah, I mean, is anyone surprised? No. Then I have a ashtray and cigarette lighter, and a nice little cubby for, you know, change or whatever. Then I have the shifter itself. Again, looks very Toyota for, again, obvious reasons, but like I said, it shifts into gear really nicely. It actually feels good, feels solid, and I really don't have any complaints about it. Then I have a little coin holder and the parking brake, of course, in the center console. Now, the seats are decently comfortable. They're not bad, actually. They're pretty soft. 90s seats, no matter if they were base model or not, tend to be pretty comfortable. However, I don't know if you noticed, but the seat is actually locked in place. For some unknown reason, it won't let me slide it, so I'm a little smashed up against the dashboard, but part of the job, I guess. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the Geo Prizm. First of all, my seat, like I mentioned earlier, doesn't really move back, so the leg room is actually pretty good back here. I'm a little surprised at it. Headroom isn't great. My head is hitting the ceiling. Yes, the ceiling has seen better days, but my head is also hitting the actual ceiling, which isn't too great. However, this is a great college car. It's something to get you point A to point B, and you can definitely take 4 people in here pretty easily. A 5th in the middle might be quite a stretch, but honestly, I don't have many complaints. Manual locks, manual windows, and I do have a little fold-out ashtray down here, so if you want to light up in the back, you can do that. But overall, not a great back seat, but roomier than I thought for sure, but still not an award winner. So now we'll take a peek in the trunk of the Geo Prizm, and actually it's a lot bigger than I thought. Obviously spare tire, nothing too crazy there, but honestly, for a small car like this, you could probably fit a golf clubs in here, gym bags easily. You could fit a ton of stuff back here. I am really, truly impressed by the size of this trunk. Really, really impressive, really good. Now we gotta talk about the looks. This car doesn't look cool. I don't think I'm going out on a ledge by saying that, but what I do like about the looks is the fact that it brings me back to my childhood. Something about those taillights. I think a neighbor of mine used to have the Chevy version of this car or something. Maybe someone, but these taillights are sort of ingrained in my memory and I'm not 100% sure why. But it brings me back to my childhood. I was born in '97. This car was built 3 years before I was even born. And so these are the sort of cars that I grew up around. And so today I finally get to drive one, and that's exciting for me. Speaking of exteriors, if you are legally required to run a front plate on your vehicle in the state or country that you live in, but you think it's too ugly, then click the link in the description below and get yourself a con plate. The con plate holder is a suction cup holder for your license plate that goes on the inside of your windshield. This means you can remain legal when driving around, but for pictures, for shows, it's easily removable from the windshield, so the front of your car looks its best. Click the link in the description below, get your own con plate, and keep your car looking good. So let's talk about the Geo Prizm as a whole. Well, really, I kind of just want to talk about Geo as a whole. Well, first of all, like I said, Geo was a brand that was owned by Chevy. And I know I say this about a lot of GM brands, but I wish that Geo stuck around just a little bit longer. I feel like they could have done something cool with the Geo brand, with the Geo name, because the Geos were always weird cars. The Prizm that I'm driving right now is arguably the most normal of them because it's a Corolla, but the Geo Tracker or the Geo Metro, those were sort of weird cars. And I miss that here in 2021. I feel like there's no brands that are weird for being the sake of weird. You have brands that do weird things, but not on the scale of Geo. And so this is my cry for help. This is my plead to whoever is out there. If you collect Geos or have other Geos in better condition than this, please let me know. I want to dive deep into Geos. I want to figure them out and see why people have this sort of following for them and love for them, because I know that people out there exist. I just haven't met any personally. So if you have a Geo, please reach out to me. Information is up on the screen. Let me know. I will drive far distances from Chicago to meet up with you and drive your Geo. But anyway, yes, this car looks like the coronavirus, but there is a Geo club out there somewhere, and I want to meet those people because they're keeping something special alive. Yes, this is a little economy box. Yes, it's rattling and it feels like it's going to fall apart, and it looks like it's seen a war or two, but it still works. It still gets up every morning and clocks in. I can only hope that the cars of today will do the same. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.